There's two ladies, Jennifer and Allison, that reside in the 3rd District and do a lot of work. And I just, the Willis Frontier Days is coming up. I wanted to give each of you a barbecue ticket and a ticket to the rodeo for an appreciation of your hard work on this budget. Those are yours now.
Crazy like a fox, Mr. Pinches.
And I think as a concluding comment, tomorrow I think Supervisor Smith and I are going up to Confusion Hill, and it seems like the appropriate place to go after a very long day is to Confusion Hill.
Okay, we're through the scripted part of the workshop, and I do have some public comment cards. People in the audience wishing to speak to the proposed budget, please fill out a salmon-colored card, and I'll call your name. Please, when you step to the podium, state your name and try and keep your comments as much as possible to 3 minutes. And so the first speaker I have is Margaret Winkler, followed by Cheryl Schrader.
Good afternoon. I'm Margaret Winkler from the Spay Neuter Assistance Program, and I put my name on the agenda yesterday before I had any access to the preliminary budget. I understand that animal control is just a small part of the overall picture, and that you've got to balance this budget to provide services for all the citizens of the county. And I want to congratulate you on putting spay and neuter into the budget, into preliminary budget, and hope that it will remain solidly in there. Our organization is helping to subsidize a lot of the expense to the county, and every dollar we're spending is saving the county $3 to $5 in expenditures. So I want to know that it is more than revenue neutral, and we'll be looking at the preliminary budget and anything that we can do to answer questions about our participation in the program. I'd be happy to do that. So.
Thank you. Cheryl Schrader, followed by Chris Stone.
And I'm the director of Anderson Valley Animal Rescue. And I would like to acknowledge that we all realize in the animal welfare group that animal control has to take its budget cuts. I would like to express my opinion on where the budget cuts to the Department of Animal Care and Control will have the least negative impact. I suggest closing the satellite shelter in Fort Bragg. There are currently approximately 260 to 270 animals at the main shelter here in Ukiah, and Fort Bragg normally has about 10% of that over there to take care of. Because of the great job the staff and the director of Animal Care and Control are doing at the main shelter, I think that they can absorb those animals and not lessen the care the animals get. The other options for cutting the budget would be, one, cut the staff at the main shelter. You can't cut the staff at the Fort Bragg shelter because you have to cover so many hours. Even if you don't have a lot of animals to take care of, the person still has to come to work. Currently, 3 kennel workers are taking care of approximately 260 animals. Now, in the wintertime, that goes down because we don't have the kittens. But in the summertime, we have lots of kittens. I don't think you can cut that staff down there. Cut your officers. You got 4 officers for this county. I don't think anybody wants to see less officers, especially since officers are often, at least one officer is out on injury. They can't work because something has happened to them. Close the clinic. Nobody wants to close that clinic. That clinic is spaying and neutering as much as possible. We are hoping to get more spay and neuter done. That's the only way out of the overpopulation problem. Last, and hopefully will never be done, start euthanizing adoptable dogs, cats, puppies, and kittens after the 7-day hold. If you euthanize the animals, you don't have to take care of them. Nobody here wants to put that needle in a kitten or a puppy. I know that Fort Bragg has a group that's worked very hard. They have a strong humane society over there. If you're going to cut the budget, that is my suggestion on where to cut it. I would like to say, if this county could, and right now it cannot, afford a satellite shelter, it really needs to be in Covelo. That's where the largest number of animals come from, and there's not even a vet up there. Barbara at Bones Rescue does the best she can, but that's a small group, and there's a lot of need in the north side of the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schrader. Chris Stone, followed by Eileen Lowry.
Chris Stone representing Ukiah Land, and I'd just like to say that in the narrow way that I work in this county, I deal with planning and building, and it's a very small part of county governance. But what I saw about 3 years ago was the fracture of planning into the planning team and current planning. And I believe that was probably necessary at the time, but I would just ask the board to look at whether or not it's necessary today. That would not, if the planning team was incorporated back into planning, that it would perhaps be a savings of several $100,000, and I still think that it would be as effective, if not more effective, as well as long-term be create far better planning effectiveness. And being that CEO Mitchell brought it up, my project, if it were being handled by an effective planning department, would be well on its way to having some housing, much needed housing, both affordable and market rate, built in this community. We currently pay in total just a little over $40,000 in property taxes. By CEO Mitchell's estimate, then the county receives about $8,000 in the general fund out of that. And our project, when completed, will be contributing over $1 million in property taxes, meaning that then the general fund would be receiving $200,000. And so I would just recommend that either the CEO's office or at direction of the board or whatever really look at trying to create a more effective planning department, which it's my belief would be the inclusion of comprehensive planning back into the planning department. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Eileen Lowry is the last speaker card I have. Additional speakers, please fill out the card as you step forward.
Eileen Lowry. I wasn't planning to speak today, but I want to thank you for working so hard to develop a health and human service agency. It has been on my wish list for many years. This is the first budget hearing, and I've sat in on a lot of them, that I've been here, and in my mental health advocacy, I did not feel like the mental health department was a wicked stepchild. And for the first time, I have witnessed general fund dollars going to the mental health department services. I want to thank everybody for doing this.